Alright everyone, I think it's just about time to get started. So quick introductions. I'm going to be talking to you today about Google Ads for your business. This is a educational webinar courtesy of eMerge, and my name is Aaron Gutekunst, and I will be kind of taking you through kind of the basics, answering a couple of questions, going over the creating process of an ad, and showing you what you can use it for, how you can use it to grow your business, and really kind of expand your presence online. So today's agenda for this particular webinar, we're going to be going over first, should you consider Google AdWords? And it's not always a straight yes or no. There are some variables that go into it. We'll cover those in a second. But then I'm going to show you how to go about setting up a Google ad. Finding keywords, keeping track of your success or how the ad is doing, and then how eMerge can kind of help come in and capitalize on, or help you capitalize on what you're doing with your online marketing. So let's go ahead. If you guys have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to send them in the chat or in the questions box. If I'm going through this and for some reason you can't hear me, just let me know. But I'll go ahead and we'll get started. So first off, should you consider Google AdWords? Now, like I said before, it's not just a straight yes or no because there are some variables. Just because a tool like Google Ads is available to you doesn't mean it's necessarily the best option for your business. There are other tools out there that you can use, and because a lot of businesses are very different, it may not necessarily be the best fit. On the other side of that, though, Google does provide a very, very powerful tool that businesses do have the opportunity to take advantage of. Whether you're in retail or real estate, if you're in the restaurant biz, small business, large business, anything, you have the opportunity to really make good on the opportunities that Google AdWords provides. Now, the main thing you want to remember here is that you want to keep track of your ads. So after you've created it and after you launched it, you want to keep track of it to see how exactly it's performing. Like, is it performing up to the standards that you want it to? And if not, why? Or if so, great, keep going with it. Or maybe you can even improve it to make it work even better for your business. So those are some of the things you kind of have to consider when you're going into this process of, of starting up with Google AdWords or creating some for your online business. But just to give you some quick facts about AdWords or about Google Ads is that first off, businesses on average will make about $2 in revenue for every $1 spent on ads. Now that's on average. There are companies that make way more on revenue than they spend in ads. And on the flip side of that, there are companies that will invest a lot in Google Ads, won't keep track of it, and then they'll lose track of the money that they're just dumping into it. So instead of optimizing their ads and kind of working on them to really get the most bang for their buck, they just kind of let them sit there and just run and don't really pay attention to the money or to the budget that they've allocated for it. Google display campaigns will reach about 80% of global internet users. So out of everyone on earth who uses the internet, Google hits about 80% of those people regularly. So you have, whether you're going for a very small local audience or whether you're going worldwide, you have the opportunity to really hit a lot of people with your brand and with your ad. And then lastly, the average CTR or click-through rate of an ad on Google is about 0.4%. Now, that may look like a small number, but that's actually really high. It's even 4 times higher than on the average banner ad that's on a website. And it's also 10 times higher than what's on than what Facebook provides in their ads. And the reason being for that is that Google, like we mentioned earlier, reaches a very large audience. Even though it sounds big, Facebook doesn't quite reach the same size audience that Google does. And every day, millions and millions of people are using Google for just basic search engine. Well, if you've ever used Google for a search engine, you've seen those ads that pop up on the side. So there's, first off, much more exposure, and then secondly, a much higher likelihood that somebody is going to click on that. So you do have a lot of opportunity here. And then one of the other benefits of actually using Google AdWords is that you have the opportunity to be, first off, very specific about where you want to target. So whether you want to target like a specific state, whether you're looking for a specific demographic, a certain region, not just a country. So, if you're in the United States, you don't want to put an ad that hits just the United States, because first off, you may be missing out on a target, and second off, you may be casting such a wide net that the fish that you actually want to catch can swim through. It's also a very simple process to set up. That is one of the great things about Google Ads, is that it's very simple to actually get an ad started. There's really not a whole lot of loopholes you have to jump through, or any red tape at all, which is fantastic. And it also helps with things like driving traffic to your website, or basically anywhere that you want to drive traffic to on the web, which can also help lead to new customer acquisition, lead generation, things like that. All because of things that Google AdWords can incorporate into the tracking mechanisms, things that will keep track of who's visiting your site from these ads, and who's interacting with your brand because of these ads. Things that you can use to turn around and target those markets. Now, there are two types of ads in Google AdWords. The first is a text ad, and the second is graphical. Now, a text ad is really what we're most familiar with when we go on the Google search engine. So for instance, whenever we're just going to search for something, maybe like some new cleaning supplies, on the right side of the page, you're going to see all those text ads pop up, talking about cleaning supplies. So you can see some that we've put together here. So, things for like the free marketing webinars that we offer here at eMerge. You have the headline of the text ad. You have 2 lines of content, and then you have what's called the display URL, and we'll go over a little bit of that later. But the other version is what's called a graphical ad, and these are a little bit different because these will not show up on the Google search page. Where these will show up are on websites where the web designer or whoever built it designated a certain spot specifically for AdWord or Google AdWord ads. And you can either just basically send this ad to Google, and they'll rotate it in and out of different websites for certain websites that you've asked to target, or you can set up what are called retargeting ads. And these are really cool because the way that these work is that whenever somebody, like the way you can set it up is that whenever somebody visits your website, or any website that you kind of designate as your target, whenever they leave that website, they will always be, or they will be followed by your ad for however many pages. So if you, let's say that you set up a retargeting ad for a listing. If you're in real estate, you set up a retargeting ad for a listing. Somebody came to your website and saw your homepage, maybe looked at the listing, but then they left. What will happen is that the ad for that listing will actually follow them around to different websites, hence the retargeting. It will follow them around to different websites for however many pages you designate. Usually it's about 10 new pages or 10 new clicks. And then, so they'll always be seeing that, somewhere on whatever page that they're actually looking at. The key here is that just like with, targeting a specific page, the website that they're on will need to have a spot for Google AdWords. But a lot of websites have that already, so the chances of them seeing your ad again are actually very high. Now we're going to go through the process of actually setting up Google AdWords and getting started with your first ad. Now, if you already have like a Gmail account or a YouTube account, you essentially already have an AdWords account because it's all part of Google's huge umbrella of different tools that they have. So you basically just have to go to adwords.google.com, and whenever you first get started, you of course have to select which time zone or which area you're in, and then also which currency you're going to be dealing with, because of course this is a paid-for service. So when Google sends you the bill, they need to know how to do that. The next thing you'll need to do is create your first campaign. Now, whenever you get logged into Google or Google Ads or Google AdWords, you're going to have access to a lot of different tools from Google that will teach you how to use all the different, I guess, targeting or building aspects of the ad so you can really maximize its effectiveness for your business. So the first thing that we'll do is actually go through the process of getting started with one of these ads and actually creating one. So we basically just click on Create Your First Campaign, and that would bring us to this page where we would look at the first six key elements of your ad, and that is kind of the general information, your networks, devices, extensions, locations, and budget. Now, general is really simple. It's basically just what you want to name the campaign, and we'll go through a little bit of this later, but a campaign is basically the umbrella of your AdWords account. And you can have multiple campaigns, but under each of those campaigns you're going to have ad groups. So just think of it as like almost an inverted pyramid. You have your larger section at the top, which is your campaign, and then when you move down you have your smaller sections, which is your ad or your ad groups. And then inside of each of those ad groups you have specific ads. So you could separate ad groups by things like demographics or by different product or services that you're offering, or different categories basically of what you want your ads to be. And then you can have ads for each one of those different categories inside of your group. But like I said, we'll go over that a little bit later, so don't get too hung up on that now. The next thing that you choose is your network. Now there's the Google Search Network and the Google Display Network. And the main difference between these is that the Google Search Network is, of course, what you think of when you are just going on the search engine and those text ads pop up on the side. The Google Display Network is what I talked about earlier with those specific websites where the people who created them actually set up a spot for the Google AdWords to appear. And websites get money for doing that, so a lot of websites actually will have that built in. So your chances of being seen, whether you're a text ad or a graphic ad on a Google Display Network, is also pretty high. And of course that will have to do with things like keywords, which we'll go over a little bit later. Next, you have your devices. Now, this is basically ads that will show up on different devices, such as whether you're going between a computer, a tablet, iPhone, anything like that. Now, when you're creating your ad, by default, Google will just set it for all devices. You can actually change it up a little bit depending on what kind of product or service, or basically just the type of ad that you're running. But just by a rule of thumb, it's usually a good idea just to go with all devices anyways. Then you have what are called your extensions, and basically an extension is where you can put more information about your business within your ad without actually taking up any of the character space that your ad is given. So for instance, you have location, site links, call, and social. So for location, if you have like maybe a chain of restaurants, or if you have multiple locations, or just a physical location where customers actually go to, like a store, you have the opportunity to actually put that information into your ad just by clicking the box next to location, and then filling in the information and kind of going from there as far as offering multiple locations, basically just giving them the address essentially to where you are, and that will show up whenever they actually go to mouse over or click on the ad. Site links, you can actually extend the ad to go to different sections of your website. So while you can extend to, or you set up the ad to go to one specific destination, you also have the opportunity to associate other links with it that other people may be interested in if they weren't necessarily looking specifically for a certain product or service. You also have call, so you can extend your ad with a phone number. So if you have a phone number that you want to get out there to where people can get a hold of you, maybe if you're in real estate for like a listing, if you want people to get a hold of you for that type of service, you can put the ad or put the ad together And then instead of using up your character limits with your phone number, which is basically about 11 characters basically taken up, what you then can do is take the ad itself and then add your phone number to it as an extension. So whenever they mouse over, they'll see. Whenever they click, they'll see your phone number there as well. And then social, you can actually basically increase the relevance almost of your page just by associating it with a Google Plus account. So if you already are pretty active on Google Plus, then by associating your particular ad with it, it'll kind of help to expand the amount of people that it will reach, and then kind of essentially the strength of the ad itself. Now where it gets a little bit more hairy, but a lot more important, is when you get to locations. Now whenever you're going through and selecting your location, Google will of course focus first on the world, but then where you're at in that part of the world. So for myself, I'm in the United States, so the first option gives me all countries and territories if I really want to go big. But then it gives me the option for North America, basically, so United States and Canada. If I want to get a little bit smaller than that, just pick United States. But if I want to go really, really specific, it lets me choose my own through an advanced search. So let's say here I put in, for example, New York. I typed in New York, clicked advanced search, and then it pulls up New York City, but then it also pulls up associated names with it, so things like New Jersey, New York the state, New Zealand, New Orleans, etc. But let's say I just want to focus on New York. Well, the first thing I'll notice is that it gives me a reach or potential reach of 18 million people just for that region, or just for that city. So I can go ahead and add it if I want. And then my ads have the potential to reach 18 million people online. If I decide that for some reason I want to exclude New York, maybe because I had a bad experience there or something, I can actually exclude that region from where I would like to target. So my ads will not be targeted in New York. What I can also do is that if I either whether or not I add it or exclude it, I can check the nearby. And nearby is basically, maybe I'm looking for something, maybe not in New York, but something close to it. Well, what can happen is that once you click on nearby, it opens up this window here. And this will show you an actual map, a Google map, of course, of the region, city, state, country, whatever that you're looking at. So right now I have New York selected, and it shows me in the blue where basically that ad will be featured. Then beneath it, so here we go, New York's right here. Underneath it, it says areas that are nearby, and so I can pick these areas like New Jersey or Connecticut, and add or exclude them if I choose. Now this is extremely important because if you are in a regional place, so like if you're in retail or a restaurant that may deal with multiple cities, you can target multiple cities at once, but just target those cities specifically. If you work in real estate and there's an entire county or region or parish that you deal with, you can target that entire area. If maybe you're a little bit larger corporation and you deal internationally, but you only deal with certain cities or different certain territories or regions outside the United States or outside your country, you can target those very specifically. All you have to do is go through the advanced search. And this will help you to not only focus your ads specifically on these individual regions, but it'll really save you a lot of money in the long run because you're not just throwing an ad out there for everyone to see and just kind of hoping that people from the spot that you want to target are clicking on it. So this is one of the tools that will really provide you with basically the magnifying glass to get where you want to go and put your ad where you want it seen. All right, the next big thing to look at is budget. Obviously, when you're running a business, budget is very important, and you don't want to just go blowing money on ads if it's not working out for you. Which is why, and later on I'll talk about this a little bit more, keeping track of your ads is very, very important. So the very first thing that you'll see whenever you go through selecting your budget is just your basic options. And under basic options, you can click things like, that you'll manually set your bids for clicks. So you can say, okay, I want to spend $1 a day or $1 per click. The other option is that Adwords will simply just set it for you, but they'll set it in such a way that you can actually maximize the amount of clicks with the budget that you set. And the budget you set goes right here, and it's a per diem, so it's per day. So you can set something like $10 a day, and then manually select, maybe $1 per click. Now, if you want to get a little more detailed or have a little bit more control over how your budget will work in your ads, you can go ahead and select advanced options here, which will open up a few more options for you below. So we went ahead and picked that AdWords will set your bids to maximize the clicks. But this is specifically for cost per click. So CPC, I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with that. It's just how much you're charged per click. Now you can go ahead and set your ad for something like $1 per click, or whatever you feel will get you the most exposure. But then what will happen is that once your ad starts running, AdWords will actually kind of work a little bit for you. So you may set your budget or your bid limit at $1, but your bid may only actually cost you about 70 cents. So then what happens is, instead of paying $1 per click and getting for $10 a day, so that's 10 clicks, you may end up getting 70 cents per click, which is significantly more clicks in the long run per day. Another way that you can go about doing this is focus on the impressions. So how many people are actually seeing it, and this is under CPM, or cost per thousand. Now this deals more with ads that are running on the ad network and not the search network. So basically, ads that are retargeting or ads that are graphical that are on other people's websites will charge you per 1,000 people that actually see them. Now that can work out in your favor if you have a really high click-through rate. So let's say for every 100 people that see your ad, 10 people are actually clicking on the ad. Well, that means that if 1,000 people are seeing your ad, then 100 people are clicking on your ad, which means that your cost per 1,000 essentially is way, way, way lower than your cost per click when it comes to bidding out what you're going to spend for your ad. The last one that you can kind of dig into a little bit is just by focusing on conversions. And this basically will look at, okay, someone clicked on this ad, and then they went to this page and then this page. Because they went to this page and this page, then you are charged, and then Google says, okay, that's when we'll charge you for this ad. That gets a little bit trickier, because then you have to set up what's called conversion tracking, which is a much more advanced option. Something that we can show you in a later demonstration or a later webinar, or if you have questions about it, you can call into one of our interactive marketing specialists, and we can kind of help you out there. But those are the three kind of big options. The most popular by far is going by cost per click, and that's where you kind of have the most control over what you want to do as far as your keywords and for your ad, and how long you want to run it, things like that. But now we're going to head over and we're going to actually start on creating our ad. And basically the way that an ad is set up, we're just going to go through a text ad right now, because once you get into graphical ads, that's really more on you as far as what you want to design and what you want to say on it, because you have to provide the actual image to Google in order for them to actually put it up. So we'll just focus on text ads for right now. But up here you can see we have to put in a group name. So like I was talking about earlier, we have campaigns, and then we have the different groups underneath them. So we're going to call this one June Promotion. Well, right now at eMerge in the month of June, we have a certain promotion going on. If you're seeing this recording later on, you can call in and ask our team about what promotion may be going on at this current time, and they'll be more than happy to assist you there. But let's go ahead and we're going to look at this particular ad. So we have a headline here, which is given a 25-character limit. So we have 25 characters to say what we want to say in the headline to kind of catch people's attention. And so in the headline we put get $50 off when you join, and then in the description underneath it, each of these lines has about 35 characters that you can use up. Now when you're creating an ad is more of an art than a science. You kind of have to just go with it, see what would work out best for you, what kind of what really promotes the voice of your brand, more or less, what you think your audience would be interested in, and try to get a hold of them that way. So it takes some practice, and there's no limit to the amount of ads that you can put on Google AdWords, so you can play around with all the different types that you want, see which ones are more successful, which ones aren't, and then kind of go from there. The main thing I want to focus on here, though, is besides the headline and then your description, is the difference between a display URL and a destination URL. And this is where some people get kind of confused, because I've seen text ads that had massive URLs on them, and it was kind of unnecessary. Especially if you're in retail and you're linking to a specific product, that URL can get really long, and people do not want to see that in their text ad. So that's the reason they have a destination URL. In the display URL, generally you just stick the home page of your website. So here I put www.easyemerge.com, but in the actual destination URL I put the full link for the page that I want to send them to. So what they see is that short link. What they actually go to when they click on it is that longer link. So that'll kind of help you save some space, and it'll also make the ad more attractive in the long run. Now, a very, very important aspect of this program, or of AdWords and putting ads up, is your keywords. And I can't stress this enough. Keywords are basically the way that people will see your ad. So if you're in real estate, you want to basically put in search terms that people would use to find your website, things related to what you're promoting, like the listings. If you're in retail, putting in keywords specifically about that product or products associated with it, or about your industry. If you think of it like this, a keyword is basically how you want people to find your ad or your website, or anything basically that you have online. But when it comes to ads, specifically in Google, the way that you can think about it is how you would search for something. So, or how you think that your target market would search for something. So, for instance, if you're in a restaurant, let's say that you serve incredible hamburgers and you have this promotion going on and you created an ad for it, and you're trying to push these hamburgers, you can put in keywords like world's best hamburger or best hamburgers, or things associated with that, to kind of pull in the people who are searching online, who are thinking, man, I could go for a hamburger right now. Where's a good hamburger spot? So they go online, search best hamburger, and all of a sudden your ad pops up because one of those keywords that you put in for your ad was best hamburger. Same thing goes for real estate, retail, really any industry that you're in. Whenever you're creating keywords, the things to keep in mind is that you want to keep them very specific. You want to think in terms of how other people search for you online. And you also want to make them relevant. So you don't want to put in keywords that will trick people into clicking on your ad when it has absolutely nothing, like when the end product, whatever you're sending them to, has absolutely nothing to do with what the keyword actually was or what they were looking for. Because then, because they clicked on it, you're charged money, and then you're just kind of wasting money. So what Google provides is this great little keyword tool on the side. You can see here on the side. And basically the way it works is that you start typing in keywords into this area here, and it'll start generating more keywords that you can click on. Like, oh, I didn't think about that. I want to add that in too. So it kind of helps you build up your keyword base, and the more specific, the more targeted your keywords will be, the better. Now, when it's done, you're going to be brought to a page that looks exactly like this. Your text ad will appear on the side, and all of your tracking or the way that you monitor your ad will be over here on the right. There's going to be this little bar. At first, it's going to be completely flat because no one's interacted with your ad yet. It may not have even been approved, which you can check right here under status. Right now, this ad is listed as eligible, which means that Google still has to approve it. Of course, once it's approved, it'll be a little green text that says approved. But this is where you track the success of all of your ads through this AdWords admin page. And then, the more people that click on this will start to bump up, and you'll be able to see what days they clicked on, so you can see which days are more active, so on and so forth. And then here, where you actually kind of look at the success of your campaign, you can see, first off, how many people clicked on it. Then you can look at how many people have actually seen it, so the amount of impressions. After that, you can look at the CTR, or the click-through rate. And then after the click-through rate, you have your average cost per click. So out of all the clicks, what was the average between all of them? And then, of course, you have total. Now, one other thing to consider is on the far right side, you see where it says, shorthand for average positioning. As long as your positioning is under 5, so somewhere between 0.0 or point whatever, 0.1 through 5.0, that means that your positioning, that your ad is basically on the front page. So that allows you to see exactly where in Google searching, like whenever somebody goes up and searches on Google Ads, it shows you where exactly and which page your ad is showing up. Oops, didn't mean to click through that. This is where kind of what I was talking about before. As far as keeping track of your ads, this is where it really, really comes into effect, and where it's really important, because you can have like 6 or 7 ads running at once, and only 2 of them are performing well. So you can go back, use this tool, and evaluate the other 4 or 5 that aren't doing so well, and see what can we change. What can we do? Maybe add some more keywords. Maybe make the keywords less general. Maybe change the wording in the text ad. Something that I can do to maybe shift the way that people are seeing it and engaging with the ad. And that way you can kind of measure your success against the ads that are working and the ads that aren't. You can also monitor your individual keywords. So here I have, on the left side, a list of keywords. Real estate marketing, internet marketing. These are really, marketing has 2 A's. That's fun. These are really general. I would not recommend using something like this. This is just to kind of give you a visual example. But you can see, once the ad has been running, exactly how many people clicked on the ad because of that specific keyword. You can also see how many people viewed the ad because of that specific keyword. Basically the same types of analytic data that we looked at on the previous slide, but with each specific keyword. So if you have 50 keywords, you can see which ones are working and which ones aren't, and change your list accordingly. Next, to help you out with your budget, you can use the Google AdWord Traffic Estimator. Now this is a really cool tool that, that Google included into their AdWord program. And basically you can see or get an idea of how many people will see your ad, will click on it, will engage with it, the average positioning, all that stuff that we just looked at in the reporting area. You can actually get a forecast of that or a preview of that with this traffic estimator. All you have to do is put your keywords here in this list, click Get Estimate, and then this little chart will pop up. And basically this just says how many people or how many impressions it's getting per dollar. So this one goes up to 200 impressions, and then it runs out to $24. Probably a good place to start for a daily budget would be somewhere around maybe about $10 for a daily budget, and then start off low, like about 70 cents per click, and then kind of work from there. Again, you can actually see what it's costing you once you've actually got the ad running, but before you'll also be able to see how much the ad could potentially cost you just by looking at your keywords. Now, one of the things we're going to go over real quick is called A/B testing. And I know a lot of you have probably heard of this before and know all about it. Just want to kind of reiterate it real quick. Basically, A/B testing is when you take variations of one ad or an email or something along those lines. In this case, is an ad. You make variations of it, and then you put it all out there at once, and you see which ad is engaged with the most, and then you kind of run with that one. When you A/B test with your ads, you're able to see really quickly which ad is giving you the most bang for your buck. And that way you can focus more of your attention on that, maybe take down the ad that isn't doing so well, that's only getting that one click, boo, and change it up so that, maybe make it more like the first ad, so that's pulling in more people. But you definitely want to put out different versions of an ad whenever you first start out, just to kind of get a feel for how it will work for you. And then, of course, remember to track your ads. So this is just an example of one where there's 6 different ads in this one particular ad group. You can see on there the the ad group that it's in. You can see the status, percentage served. So out of this whole group, which one is performing the highest, which in this case would be this one here. You can see the amount of clicks it's getting, the amount of impressions, and then, of course, click-through rates, and then the average cost per click. So, I mean, like I said before, it's really important to keep track of how your ads are doing, and then kind of work from there to either improve your ads, remove ads. Like I said, Google Ads may not necessarily be what your business needs right now, and this is a really great way of determining whether or not it's an asset to your business. Now, I know this is a lot of information, and I really hope you're not feeling overwhelmed, but there is great news. We're here to help. Whenever you have questions about things like internet, online marketing, working with Google Ads, email campaigns, anything like that, we're here to help you out. eMerge is run by lots of different professionals that will be able to assist you with your needs. If you're a current client, I mean, you've already seen the power of the eMerge program. One of the things that eMerge also includes is, for certain custom campaigns for businesses that ranging from any type of industry. Google Ads is something that we have included, into our campaigns. So, if you think that's something you would like to dive into and really commit your business to, then that's something that you can talk to our team about. We work with all types of industries. For brokerages and different and real estate, you have things like agent recruitment. For any type of business, for any type of brand, brand awareness is so important. And of course, business reputation. Whatever you put out online, it affects your reputation and your brand. So it's essential to ensure that you're trusting your brand to someone who really cares about it and can really push it and really mold it into into an online powerhouse. One of the great things about the eMerge program is just the amount of success that our different users have had, for things like capturing referrals to grow their business, closing out transactions, just kind of growing their business into even more than what they thought it could be. Really being able to show a really solid success story with the eMerge program. But now it's come to that time where I'm open for questions. So if you guys have any questions about Google AdWords or anything that we've covered today, or just kind of online marketing in general, go ahead and send them over to me real quick, and I can answer them for you here online. Let's see here. All right, I got one question about inserting keywords for blogs or websites. If I think I have the answer or the question right, you can put in keywords into the ad that refer to your website. So if you have a specific business or office, like if you have a real estate office, or if you have a storefront or something like that, or a retail line, you can certainly put that keyword in there. So just off the top of my head, if we're going with a real estate company, for instance, like Remax, you can put Remax in as a keyword so that anyone searching for Remax would see that would see your ad pop up. If you have a specific name for your blog, like for instance, if you use a Tumblr blog and you wanted to promote it, and the name of your blog was newsyoucanuse.tumblr.com, you can absolutely put that as part of your keywords. Let's see here. Let's see. Do I recommend AdWords or AdWords Express? Whenever you first start out, I think they actually offer you AdWords Express up front. It doesn't. You can go either way. Google makes it really simple, regardless of the interface you're using. So whether you're using AdWords or AdWords Express, it's really simple to actually go through the process of setting up the ads. Like I said, the main thing that you want to focus on first is whether or not your ads are showing success. Being able to monitor everything and being able to track your success is key to basically not wasting money. Let's see. How do I improve my Google score for my ad? Does Google read my landing page and know the keywords on that page? Well, Google, the keywords for your page and the keywords for your ad are basically measured differently, or at least put in differently. So whenever you set up a landing page, of course, the webmaster, whoever created it, would have put keywords in there. You can use those same keywords for your ad. It's a lot of people actually do that, especially when you're driving people to that particular landing page. You don't necessarily have to limit it to that. you can, whenever you're putting AdWord or ad keywords into your Google AdWords, you have the opportunity to really put anything you want. But like I said, you want to keep it very, very specific, and you want to think in terms of how people would search for you online, which is generally not how keywords on a landing page are structured. So you can do a little bit more research into that. Keywords from the landing page to incorporate into your ad is a good place to start, but I wouldn't suggest leaving it there. Let's see, is this better for product or service? That's an excellent question, and really one that I can't really, unfortunately, answer for you, because, like I said before, it varies from business to business, from product to product, and from service to service. There may be an awesome product out there, but if it's if it's not a really good ad, people aren't going to click on it. On the other side, it may be a service that people really don't necessarily think about or maybe really want right away, but if the ad is really catching them, then they may click on it and they may look into it further and be like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So it's really not so much a product versus service. It's whether or not the ad that you put out there is actually working to promote that product or service. All right, well, unfortunately, that's all the time that I really have for today. To kind of wrap things up for you, we have a lot of online resources that you guys are definitely open to use. You can talk to one of our interactive marketing specialists to schedule a demo to learn more about either the eMerge product or online marketing. We have a ton of free information on our blog, which is just blog.easyemerge.com, where you can see all sorts of articles written by all sorts of great people who can help you or will teach you how to utilize things from email to social media, blogs, ads, really anything that you can think of having to do with your online brand. And then of course you can find this online either at our website or social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, LinkedIn, all of them. And then you can reach us also online, or you can reach us either by email at getstarted@easyemerge.com. We have our phone number up there, and then also you can get a hold of us directly either at support@easyemerge.com or that 985 number below. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really hope you guys I was able to impart some good knowledge onto you. And like I said, if you have any other follow-up questions or anything that we can help you with, just let us know. You see our contact information up there. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day.